initially said, I value man. And then you talked about being encompassing.
Encompassing.
The reality is, whatever is happening in Aliko Dangote's house, I don't know. You understand? So now that's what I'm saying is,
What will now be the yardstick for?
Yeah, exactly. Can we say A is high value man, or is it A that will know
that
is high value man? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Mengoes podcast. Today we have another guest.
The second guest.
Yeah, the second guest on the episode. Oh, sorry, on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for everyone that has been supporting us, our viewers, our subscribers, and for the viewers that are not subscribers yet, please subscribe. It is very important. And also, the show is not complete if we don't hear your views. So please put in your views in the comment section below. And share with your friends. And today we have another exciting topic that you don't want to miss. So I would hand over to Folawe to do the introduction of our guest.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome again to Mengoes podcast. And today we have a guest. And our guest today is a man that wears many caps. By the time you listen to his profile, you'll be like, wow. Today we have a legal strategist, AI governance advisor, and enterprise transformation executive who is operating across the United States, United Kingdom, and Africa. Say wow. He's a barrister of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. He's an alumnus of Stanford University, King's College London, and Oxford Side Business School. He primarily leads Inspire Crafts Global Limited and also Visa Crafts Technology LLC in the United States. His landmark legal work contributed to the disbandment of the Nigerian Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is known as SARS, which impacted over 200 million citizens of Nigeria. He's an Harvard Business Review Advisory Council member, Amazon best-selling author. He has published in 6 different languages and in Guardian Nigeria Top 50 CEO. He holds fellowship and membership with FILMPD, ASIS, and Chartered Governance Institute of the UK. He collaborates with many professional bodies and a youth mentor across 2 continents. Please welcome with me Prince Adenola Adegbeson.
Thank you very much.
The profile is what they call acide hot. Acide hot.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. First and foremost, sit with everyone. I've seen a couple of episodes. I think what you guys are doing is amazing and such a great honor to be here to also contribute to that discourse.
Oh, thank you for
Thank you. But my request is to speak up a little bit.
All right, I'll do that.
I know it's a little, you have to be princely, royal-like, but add a little Agbero to the voice.
I'll do that. I'll step it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so the topic for today, as we were reading the profile, I was like, okay, this is just the perfect person for this topic. And the topic is around what does high value man, or what does it mean to refer to as high value man? Or in your terms, what does it mean to
or do we need to first have like a discussion around that so it can settle into the conversation?
Okay, because what I wanted to do initially was just get his perspective on what it means or what it means to him exactly. I don't want us to
that can work.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. I think starting off with that question, what does it mean to be a high valued man? I think there's a lot to it. First and foremost is that you must be a man.
Okay. A man with penis.
Yes. Secondly, you must then strive to be of value. The third aspect is that that value is not just any other value, but it is actually of a high standard, considerable measure. So you're not just talking about every other person, you're talking about someone who has decided to pick excellence as a daily choice, as a conscious choice. So if I want to talk about what does it mean to be high valued as a man, I would then say you have to look at every aspect of your life or endeavor. You have to look at it from the perspective of business. You look at it from a perspective of family. You want to talk about your social interaction with other people, maybe your belief system as well. So, because it's an encompassing thing that drives you into, is not a destination in itself, but it's a process. So, for you to be high valued, it's not something that you say, oh, now I'm an high valued person. You might be high valued in this area and you may be less valued in this area. So, it's a conscious choice every day. So, what does it take for you to do that? I would say balance. You have to have that ability or strive to have that ability to actually create balance across different areas of your life. It's the preponderance of that that can drive you towards that level where you say you're high valued. And you want to look back when you were in school. What sort of a person are you? What sort of conversations did you drive? When you came out and you became a professional in the organizations you worked in, what can we really say about you? What sort of impact did you have there? Now that you're probably on your own or you're doing some other things, so it's going to be, if we're going to really look at you in another 10, 15 years, we want to look at that record. So it's not just one thing that you will do today and then we'll clap for you and say, oh, you're an high valued man. We'll look at you. How about your family? Are you taking care of things from that aspect of things? Your social interaction, people around your space. How do you treat people? How do you mentor other people? What sort of lesson when we speak your name in rooms? What comes to mind? So I think is the combination of all of that that would really make you or give you that picture of what an high valued man should look like.
So, if I get you very well, you're saying you can't be an high value man if you only give value in a certain aspect. It has to be all around.
Yes. So that is why I made that distinction initially to say you can be a man of value. Because every man is a man of value.
I think there's a difference between a man of value and high value.
A valued man. So you can be a man of value because every man has a value. So you are good at something. Yes, we acknowledge you for that. But before we can put that word high, that means we have looked at you from every other angle.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be like you are a fantastic businessman, but you don't treat people well.
Talking about every man has a value, do you believe that there might be some people that don't have any value anywhere they are found?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe, I'm a Christian, so I will speak from that angle. I honestly believe that everything God has made is fantastic. Most importantly, man as a person. That's why I mentioned the word man. Is a special being. As far as this heart is concerned, God has created this planet and made man the highest as far as this place is concerned. So, and I used to tell people that if God wants to really help you, the first thing that you would know that truly something is happening here, what you will find out is that men are coming towards you. Because that is, as far as God is concerned on this planet, that is like the epitome of his creation. So you can't say that a man is not of value. The man may not have, he may not be fortunate enough to then refine the raw material
to a finished product.
That then makes people think, oh, look at this guy. For instance, let's take public speaking. Some people, you would say, oh, I don't know how to speak. I can't stand in front of a camera. I can't do this. I can't do that. But actually, subject them to a training. Over time, that person will come out on the stage and you'll be wondering what's really going on. Like you mentioned about my volume. So, because growing up, I talk, but I wasn't really like the most vocal in the room. It's just me. Maybe when of course, there are places where you will shout and you will scream, but I wasn't really the most vocal. Along the line in school, I did an election as PRO in my faculty, I lost the election. So when I lost the election, my friends, all of them, it was more like I was supposed to win that election. 1 week in, some things shall happen.
They did you APC.
Some things happen. So when I lost the election, I called my friend. I said, well, the truth is that we didn't play politics, we were just playing emotion. So from now on, we have to be conscious about the choices we make. So if we're going to be a politician, it then means that
politics.
we have to play politics. So when we go to someone and the person says, no problem, we'll say, all right, vote for me. And the person says, no problem, I will vote for you. That's not a problem. We'll leave it at that. By that night, we'll go and knock the person's door. The person will say, but I already told you that there's no problem. We'll then tell him that anybody that tells you that there's no problem,
There's problem.
tell us what the problem is. Do you understand? So, and then when it then became the point of, okay, now I have to do campaign. I have to speak on the stage. We are talking about thousands of students in a hall. You have to find that confidence at some point in time. So that's why I'm saying a man may not have been, fortunate enough, let me put it that way, to have that opportunity where the
platform,
raw aspect
material.
of things can be refined to a point where it then becomes something of value. But that a man does not have value, I beg to differ.
I want to also put this thing quickly before we move too deep into the conversation. You see, I think a part of this conversation is looking at this new trend of alpha male and how the society is beginning to paint a picture of what an alpha male is. I got into a conversation on social media with one random lady during the week, and then she was saying, oh, she needs an HNI. And I was like, what's HNI?
High net worth individual.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
High net
Really?
worth individual. Yeah.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm coming. I didn't know that that's what they are called now. And I'm like, okay, fine. Congratulations. But there is a same picture our society is beginning to paint of what HNI, high value,
high net worth
high net worth
individual.
individual. And then this one we're
High value
saying,
man.
high value man, and alpha male is looking like now. People look at alpha male as the guy who provides 100%, the guy who looks very good and physically attractive enough for them to be able to, do couples TikTok trend. That nonsense I hate. If you want to do TikTok content, couple content, I don't like that.
Yeah, I want to do, but
That's
let's go.
And people also want. There's this picture of an alpha male as that guy who he doesn't cook, he can't cook. Not even he doesn't cook, he can't cook. You can't do domestic chores in the house with your wife, or who basically all you have to do is just have money, provide money. You have thick voice, you look FT as a man, and when somebody wants to beat your wife or wants to get into trouble with your wife, be like, can you see my husband?
Okay, all
Buffy,
right.
I don't think
Man that is
I don't think any of you passing that.
All right.
So this to me appears to be like the picture being painted. There's even this trend where they are looking at alpha male as the type that is not sympathetic even to a woman. Like, you can't be seen as soft. You cannot. You cannot.
It's not a simp.
Yes, there's not a simp. Thank you. That's another word they use. They call the ones that are not alpha male. They call them simp. So if you say things like you should be kind to a woman, you should consider how they feel as well. You should take their feeling into consideration when you are thinking and making decisions and saying stuff. They look at you as a simp. They look at you like, if you are calling maybe your wife or your if for those still dating or something, your woman, and seeking advice, they look at you like a simp. Like, this one is not a high value man. He's not an alpha male. If you still need the verification or the acceptance or the ratification of a woman before you make a decision, you're a simp. So these are perspective I want us to look into. Does this truly depict what because you've been talking about the value that cuts across different spheres, but what about this part of man and woman relationship?
Do you want to lead the conversation, or should I? I mean,
I think
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
take
yeah.
the
Okay,
advice
you
too.
can
because
drop in.
I wanted you to finish because summarizing everything you said, I want to come back to some of the points you made. For example, you talked about the being encompassing as a man. But is it possible to be spiritually sound as a man? Your family is, you don't have problem in your own, basically. Everybody is managing. You understand? Many other areas are good, but you don't have money as a man. Can you ever pass the test of being called high value man?
Thank you very
Our
much.
alpha male.
So
No,
thank you very
I think I found male
Yeah,
can be a little bit
thank you,
hard.
Extreme.
But yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. You've raised a very good point or a very good question, and this is how I'm going to paint it. You see, we are in a generation where a lot of things are, we've just distorted things. So, for instance, now the conversation around the high-valued man, the alpha male, is a distorted mental picture that has gone into the minds of people. For instance, I come from a royal family. My dad was not cleaning. He was not, but he was the most empathetic human being I have ever met. Our moms used to sleep 24/7.
You came from a polygamous
You
home.
said months, okay?
Yeah. So my dad would be the one that would tell you exactly how you were sleeping at night, because he would literally come into our rooms to check us. The person that is sleeping under the net, the one that is not sleeping under the net, he has a bag of drugs. We used to call him the woman father. A father that
Mothers you.
you understand what I'm trying to say. So he goes to you with you. I mean, when did my dad stop coming to my school? Do you understand? Like, that is the kind of person he is. So coming out of that kind of and I remembered when my wife gave birth, we were at the hospital. I was there and all of that. So an aunt of mine came from London to come and see us. And when she was leaving, she was like, "Oh, I'm really very happy with the way you're standing." I'm like, "It's not. You don't need to thank me for that. It's a given." That's where I came from. That's what I saw when people in your family have issues. Anyone is sick, anyone is whatever, you would literally see that concern. He is concerned about everybody's well-being. And he's still a king of several villages. He still does his thing as a king. But when he's at home, we felt that beat, like, yes, this person cared about us. We saw him in time. There were times he picked us ahead of certain things in town. That time he's supposed to be at home and he'll be like, "No, you have to be in school tomorrow." He's taking us to school. Do you understand? So that's why I mentioned the issue of balance. So for instance, now if someone then comes to me and say, "Oh, for you to be an alpha man, you don't have to be sympathetic, you have any form of empathy," I know that you have a distorted view of what that looks like. Now, back to what you mentioned in terms of whether you have money or you don't have money. And that's why we're talking about value and high valued. Now, you see, when it comes, I tell people, as far as your life is as a man, money is the lowest of your challenges. Money is the lowest of your challenges. But you see, the view the society has is that it is money that controls every other thing. That is the wrongest version of it. And why am I saying that? You see, money is a byproduct of value. It's not the core thing, it's not the raw thing. For you to have money, you must be providing value to someone, either to an employer or to customers or something. So if you don't have money, it's a product of maybe you're not communicating your value very well or something. You can fix that easily. If you have a business now and you are not making sales, if you call in an expert, they will fix it for you. You do adverts, you do everything. People will start buying it. If there's something wrong with your product, they will ask you to amend it. When you have a product that people want, it is a given. You don't need to do anything about that. And the byproduct of that is that your account will start going up. Simple. Now, but when you don't have peace at home, those are critical issues. When you have health challenges, when you have issues in your network and all of those things, those ones can give you, they are more complicated to resolve.
So what do we say about this idea of people trying to balance extreme feminism with extreme manism, masculinity.
That's,
Because I think that's where all this conversation is
yeah.
coming out from, where people find it difficult to cope with the extreme feminists. Then by trying to fight for the cause of a male children, by being also extreme on the other side. How do we then put a
Now
balance to
that is what if you looked at it from the beginning, I already mentioned it. I said it's balance. And look at what you mean from what you said as well. You said extreme feminism, extreme masculinity.
The extreme has qualified it.
It has already qualified the conversation. And you see, once someone starts talking about something, within 5-10 minutes, you already know where they are coming from. They are either coming from a place of pain or something they've not, they've not experienced. Maybe someone who didn't have a father growing up. And that is not a bad thing in itself. But recognizing that, yes, there is a vacuum here, how do I want to address that vacuum, is a better way than them projecting it upon every other person by saying, oh, what's the essence of a father? All these useless fathers, all these whatever. God, these fathers that are good for nothing, deadbeat father. If I say someone now that's okay, conversation, okay, maybe a single mother complaining about a deadbeat father. Okay, you are complaining about a deadbeat father. But the reality is the whole conversation started from a choice. This outcome now is a product of a choice. Now, the consequence is here. How do you manage that consequence? Taking responsibility for it and saying, okay, I made a choice at a point in time that was not the best choice. Now there is a consequence of that choice now. How do I want to manage it? It might not be the best situations. But if you are not careful, you will raise that child to make the same type of choice. Because what you will put in that child is that all men are bad. All men are this. And with that child live in a world that there are no men. So instead of then telling the child or training the child in the way that your choices matters and they have severe consequences, when you get to this stage, when you want to make this type of choices. I remember the conversation I had with my mom. I think I was still in primary 5. I will never forget. And she called me one day. Imagine me, primary 5. And she had one of the most honest conversations ever with me. Because I was complaining to her about something that she was doing that I didn't like. So she called me one day and she said, sit down. You see, me and your father, we are different people. I have my own mistakes. He has his own mistakes. It is your duty as our son to look at us both. You see, the ones you like from your father, pick it. The one you like from your mother, pick it. The one you think I'm doing that you don't like, drop it. And that was the end of the conversation. So, if you then come out, if I then make certain choices today, if it is good or it is bad, I understand that these are my decisions. So, like you mentioned, managing it is about, first and foremost, like I mentioned from the beginning of the podcast, great job that you guys are doing. You see, all of this distorted stuff are loud, and that is why we cannot keep quiet.
I would like us to quickly not forget that we need to explore the idea of sin. We need to explore the idea of power balance.
Yeah, sorry, please. Before we go there, I still want us to dwell on this conversation of high value man. So I went through the internet now to say top 10 high value men, and I can see Aliko Dangote, Abdul Samad Rabiu, Mike Adenuga, Tony Elumelu, Femi Otedola, Jimovia, and of course
this is a Nigerian list.
Yeah, no, it's a Nigerian list. Yeah, I say top 10 high value men in Nigeria. So now, if it feels like there is something they all have in common.
Money.
Do I need to say it? What they have in common is money. And now goes back to my question. Is it ever... I want to know whether I should resign my faith and just say, I will stick to being a man of value.
A man of value.
Than pursue high value man. Because to be fair, I used to say something. I don't think I need the money these people have. I don't think I need it. I feel like it's unnecessary. But anyways.
Now, another thing you need to understand is that, you see, when you Google search things, all right, Google does not necessarily give you the 100% answer. All right. And I'm not saying that these are not men of value. They are high-valued men. All right.
Sorry,
but
please.
one of the
Sorry,
things,
please. Can I quickly cut you there? when you initially said I value man, and then you talked about being encompassing. The reality is, whatever is happening in Aliko Dangote's house, I don't know. You understand? So now that's what I'm saying is, can we
will now be the yardstick for
exactly? Can we say A is I value man, or is it A that will know
that
I
is
value
myself?
man?
Now, the first question, answer to that is that, let me tell you, A has to know that is I valued. And how will you see? You can't claim to be anything that you are not convinced that you are. Look at all these persons that you've mentioned. They are builders of men. They've done things. They've gone through challenges. I was just looking at seeing a video by where my academic was explaining that he started in Nigeria selling car radios. Do you understand? They've gone through seasons. They've gone through stuff. Look at the board of Glow and some other or Handle and so many things. His children are already there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you don't know much about their private life or their individual lives, but there are certain things that you can say. Today they are running a lot of foundations, charities, giving people money. Do you know how many persons is employing in Nigeria? If Globalcom shuts down today, a lot of families are in trouble. So
yeah, but that's still money.
Now, but you see, they didn't get to that place one day. That's what I'm saying. And like I mentioned, I said, it's not a destination, it's a process. Now, if you look at yourself now and you say, I'm a high valued man, all right? And I want to continue to strive to be a man of high value. That means every aspect of my life, I'm trying to strike that balance there. One day, your name will be on that list. It's a given.
Yeah, so I'm saying my name will be on that list. That might not necessarily be because I am high value man. It is because I have built something, and which is just one aspect of my life. So, for example, tomorrow I can okay. I don't know if I can bring this up. Very Dark Man. He has trended for a lot of reasons. Some of the reasons he has also trended was he dabbled into a little bit of
pornography.
Yeah, thank you for completing it for me. So now looking at it, he has gone through seasons. How he went through those seasons is not necessarily something I want to learn from. So now he has built something right now. If Very Dark Man goes like this and for some reason becomes governor of a state or whatever, or of course he has a Ratel movement, he has stuff he's doing. He gets to a point where we are talking about VDM based on all these things he has done. Does that now automatically make him high value man in the context of what you started this conversation with?
Yes, to a very large extent, it will make him a high valued man. Why? Because he started his life, let's say on a wrong foot. That's also one of the characteristics, and that was what I was driving at the other time. And particularly going back to what you mentioned earlier about, is there a man without value? So, he started off his life, let's say, on a wrong foot. Along the line, you see, that act of actually turning things around, that is actually one of the key traits of being a high value man. Because what he has now done is that, okay, this is my life that is already a mess. I want to turn it around. And now I'm advocating for justice. I'm doing this. Now, method, means of achieving that may differ in terms of what you think. For instance, I've been in advocacy before. There are times that when you are doing certain things, you just have to protest. You just have to go certain on, if you say it's every time you want to be writing letters, certain things will not move. Particularly when you're dealing with, let's say, a country and some certain type of countries. So definitely people have to use unconventional ways to actually get the result. Yeah. But you see, the fact that he's been able to turn his life around from someone that was into pornography now into something. Now, like you mentioned, you may not want to look at it, but do you know that that is now a story, a model story for someone who is dealing with pornography right now?
Yeah.
Look at how this person has turned his life around. Whatever it is that you're doing now does not matter. You can still strive to be something better in the society, and you will still be. So it's a context thing, and that's why I mentioned that it's a process. Do you understand? Now, imagine VDM looking at himself, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, and just saying, let me go and commit suicide. My life, now my video is out, blah, 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 blah. And that's, do you understand? So it's a process thing. As he is right now, he's also striving every day. What else can I do? You understand? So it's a process thing. of becoming a high-valued man. And like you mentioned, money is important. Let us not lie to ourselves. We were having a bit of chit-chat earlier on. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you definitely need money to, amplify things, to get things going. Even in the family, finance is a major thing that has to happen there. Within social circle, if they ask you to bring money today, can't provide. Next tomorrow, they will not send you invitation again. That's the truth. You understand? So
Does it matter how you make that money?
It does matter how you make the money, because in a society where values are, eroding by the day, it's also very important that that comes into the conversation. And you would see that it is not a one country thing. And I'm very happy that we are all here, and we've also seen stuff. Do you understand? We've seen organizations come down due to corporate governance. What is corporate governance? It's fraud. Somebody cook the book. Do you understand? So it's not a case of, oh, maybe because you're not doing it within the context of a corporate environment and you're probably maybe into some fraudulent stuff. It still matters that. And if this whole issue of fraud and so many things is not a concern, all the things that government, since the days of so many things that have happened in time past, till tomorrow, government is still trying to prosecute people and all of that. So it does matter to show that, yes, you have to be patient, go through life, processes will be there. As a matter of fact, it's part of your story, and that's what I used to tell people. It is the unique signature of your story. That is why your story cannot be copied. So the fact that you're trying to, jump that process and all of you, then when you get to the front line, how are we going to distinguish you from any other person?
I want to ask a question before he takes it on. Is Bola Ahmed Tinubu
I was going to ask that question.
high value man?
I was going to ask that question.
Yes. Okay. All right. I would say yes. The reason, hold on. And the reason I would say yes.
Controversial.
Now, it's debatable. Anybody can debate it. But let us take it from the context
Perspective.
of this. Now, this man, let us look at him now from the context of some of the things I laid down earlier. First and foremost, his family. He has a way of handling his family. Now, one of the things that you would see in his family is that he is tolerant, religious. His wife is a pastor in Redeem. He is a devout Muslim.
Could that be political?
No. Whatever that may be.
Working.
Some people can't handle that. We've seen homes break. We've seen he is in a political arena. These are things.
Are you trying to tell me
No,
now
I'm
that
just.
the issue of power is important in being a high value man?
No, I have not even gotten to that point. I'm just trying. I laid down a definition earlier, and so because I don't want to just go into politics and just start talking politics, you understand? I want to go back to that definition so that I can be the framework through which I will answer your question. Because I mentioned family, I mentioned business, I mentioned, that balance. So I'm taking it from the family perspective now. Now, that has been sorted. Now, the next thing is we're seeing his children now, at least now that he's in politics. Some of them, she is there. Some other ones also are doing whatever it is that they are doing. Good. Now, you talk about politics, which let's say that is his given, the main thing. He has contested election about 3 times in Nigeria. Some of the highest elections, senatorial election. He has contested governor twice. He has contested for presidency. We are talking about millions of people signing up to say, I believe that you have the capacity to do this at different cadre, different level. You're talking about the state government that is controlling a state like Lagos. You're talking about, what's this thing called? A Senate, legislature. You are talking about the entire country. Now, our electoral system, irrespective, we've also seen people that are failed to become president. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So whatever that may look like, that's not the subject of what we are saying.
So no, goes back to what he said.
No, wait, I think we need to. Okay.
So I'm just trying to say, you understand? So if you want to look at it from that angle, yes, he is a high value.
I think leaning from all the things we've said today, I can conclude that there are lots of variants or lots of discussion around high value and what constitutes high value man.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the things we have said today, we've not spoken about the man has to his emotional state.
That's right.
We've not spoken about how the relationship should look like between a man and a woman, a man who is high valued. And I think that's another stage we'll be looking when we are sitting again to have a conversation around what constitutes a high.
There should be a part.
I think we should have a part two of this.
No,
because
obviously,
I have a question
because
for you.
because what we have explored basically is basically the overview and what it should look like. We have not discussed what it currently looks like or what is very practicable now.
No,
What we are seeing. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Please. So I think that whilst we are running out of time for our recording session today, we're going to have to do a comeback where we will now explore this. We might even have to bring practical examples of what is very popular, situations that are very popular, and examine these situations so that we can have a proper discussion, practicable discussion, and then throw more light on what's in the society and then how people
happy to explore that. And I think the lens at which you're looking at it is saying, let us first and foremost, we've done the overview now. This is what it looks like, or this is what it should look like.
It should look like.
Yeah.
Now we're going to spend time to also talk about what is happening right now, okay, and what can be done in that regard to actually, put, and like you mentioned, practical examples would be good, where we then, sort of like speak into that situation and say, okay, this is an ideal situation or an hypothetical situation now. How do we handle this? But I am sure also that, at that point in time, we can reflect on some of these conversations that we've had in terms of, you're not having money in the house, or, okay, what do you need to do as a man in the house to show that you are high valued and all of that. And don't forget, at the end of it all, what we are talking about, the key is value.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It has been lovely having you on this episode.
Thank you very much.
We will be signing out right now. My name remains Shola.
Adenola.
His name is Adenola. Babajide.
Babajide.
Babajide Folawe. And that's Folawe. So we'll see you next week. Thank you very much for tuning in. See ya.